inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, cause real women don't bitch, no. Real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Hey ladies, how are you? Oh gosh, for those of you that did not get a chance to tune in, this week we actually flipped the script and I did an announcement. Not an announcement. I switched the order and I actually played my featured guest segment on Wednesday. Usually it's feature Fridays, but the guest and her noble stance to claim freedom and to be liberated from her past, she disclosed some really, really personal stuff, and it was a humbling experience to be part of it. And I just really felt a sense of urgency to release it into the atmosphere right away, because I know that there is something that's going to come back 100-fold, for that experience. And so today, even though it's a Friday, I know a lot of you are often used to tuning into longer segments, but today's going to be a shorter segment. It's going to be what we typically do. So anywho, I was just sitting here thinking about something that happened to me. And when I talk to my clients, I usually tell them to not let someone feel this way. How many of you don't really like following up? And how many of you don't reach out to people as much as you should? And you have found yourself telling a narrative that makes you say, oh, well, if they really wanted to work with me, they would reach out to me. I can tell you that from my own personal experience, because I usually interact and engage with, people that I'm thinking about working with, not just people that I want to work with me. I've had those conversations, right, where I've talked to coaches or, I may even have worked with them with a lower ticket item just to get a feel for them to see if I want to invest on a higher scale. And then when the time comes for us to have a conversation, it's kind of flat, flat in that I personally have believed, based on things they've said, or because I understand the level of work that I put into something, that I showed up, like a beast. And I showed up. And if I show you that I like what you're doing, or you have what you have to offer, when the person doesn't respond back with that same level of enthusiasm, like, yeah, I love you. You are so animated. You're so this, you're so that, you're great. And I know that you can go even further if we can just work on these things. And I would love to work with you. It's a weird place to be in. And here's the reason why. If I look at you and I see you're in a position that I want to be in, there's that star quality, right? And in our minds, a lot of times we think, well, a person that's really grounded in what they do, if they're a coach, they wouldn't just work with any and everybody. And so if they didn't express the enthusiasm to work with me, and I thought I was coming to the table enthusiastically, maybe I said something and they're not really that hyped about working with me. And for me personally, that has really hurt my feelings, and I'm really starting to come out here even more with some of the vulnerable sides of the way that I think or the things that I feel, because I know that a lot of you that follow me, you're like, man, August ain't no joke. And if you are involved in any groups that I'm in, and if you've seen me on video, you've seen me live somewhere, you'll be like, this woman just pushes no matter what. And so the podcast is called Real Women Don't Bitch, and you could really, really get things misconstrued and get it twisted that my feelings don't get hurt or that I don't feel emotions. And you could say, oh, well, she has so much masculine energy that, I don't cry or that my feelings don't get hurt. I'm a human being, period, point blank. So I need you to understand something. There's someone who's going through the same thing as you. Sometimes you need to follow back up with people because they are afraid that the lack of response is you not necessarily really wanting to work with them. You don't realize that you're a star in their eyes. You're so busy looking at the situation as, oh my God, I'm really trying to make money in my business. And, my following is only, 3,500 people on Facebook, or God forbid, it's not that many, or, I don't really have the influence like some of these other people. But for the person that's looking at you, they heard your heart. They heard your expertise and they need what you have. And so for them, you are their shining star. And if you're not showing up on your sales calls, and if you're not showing up in your follow-ups where you are showing that eagerness to work with them, a lot of times people that just say, okay, we'll get back with each other and talk, they fall flat and they disappear because they're embarrassed and they think that you don't want to work with them. And so I've had that happen to me. I'm like, man, I just can't believe that this individual didn't, say more or do more or even check up on me. And maybe that's the whole thing. If I'm not, and then what do, right? If we get defensive, we can let our brains go to the wrong place. Like, oh, okay, well, they so busy. They got so many clients that they don't need little old me. If I ain't chasing up behind them or running after them, then I'm not, eligible. Well, fuck that. I don't want to work with them anyway, and not to say that you're thinking that, but I mean, I talk to all kind of people and we talk about all kind of things all the time. And so some people do, go to that negative side of things. But the reality is this. When you talk to someone, I want you to think about that enthusiasm that you quote unquote thought you heard. And when a person doesn't respond back to you and say, I'm here, I'm back to work with you, my question is, have you followed back up with them? Because maybe you didn't realize it, but on the sales call, your energy was off and that threw them off. And especially if you're dealing with any kind of mindset issues, if people start responding or not responding a certain kind of way, then our past experiences will make us internalize the situation and we may make it become something that it is not. So are you missing money in your business because you aren't letting people know that you want to work with them as bad as they want to work with you? I know that I've reached out to people before and I've thought to myself, this person really needs me, but why haven't they said anything? And sometimes we do forget that people can get so caught up with all of the drama in life and they don't forget, but they say, I'm going to come back to this. And it never fails. As fast as they're going to come back, the phone call comes through. Something happens with the child. An emergency happens. They were in traffic longer than they thought. And so when they do get home, they got to hurry up and get to all of the other things. And without realizing, they have put off and put off and put off to the point that they do somewhat forget. And I say somewhat forget because, sometimes we can let the days roll by and be like, dang it, and we will remember on Friday, something that we were supposed to do on Monday. So don't let the money slip through your fingers in your business. follow up, people. Follow up. And, there's a plethora of other reasons why you potentially may or may not follow up. But anywho, today is April the 5th. April the 5th of 2019. And I got to close this summit. This podcast out by saying thank you. I just need to thank everybody, period, who is a loyal fan, a loyal listener. You guys are like blowing my mind. I said out there, I got to have a bigger goal. This podcast has to reach more people. And as of late, the numbers have been going through the roof. And I'm talking just globally, internationally. You guys, whatever you're doing, you're spreading the word, you're listening in. I want to thank you, because you could be doing anything else with your time besides spending it with me. The other day I looked at the stats for the downloads, and there were 200 in Europe alone. Then there was like 2 in Cambodia, 2 in Germany. And guess what? They're like only 46 in the United States. When I have really big numbers like that, it's usually the exact opposite. There's like 200 in the US, and then there's sprinkles in Malaysia, Australia, or, Egypt or South Africa or Brazil, something like that. But no, you guys have been showing up. As a matter of fact, like 3 days before this, I checked in the morning time, and there were 38 downloads in the Netherlands and only 34 in the United States. That day started off with way more downloads, So, and looking at the time, I'm like, man, people around the world, in the middle of the night, early in the day, just downloading the podcast. So I just wanted to tell you thank you, because I can't be here, right, without any listeners. Well, I could, but who wants to be here with something that nobody's chiming into? So thank you so much. And with that being said, there's more of this to get, on a much bigger level. We can connect via, the online arena. I want you guys to sign up for the for the Business Mastery Summit. I want you to sign up for it. It's going down. Before you know it, April 24th will be here, and it will be live, and you're going to get my expertise, and along with 20 other women, and then I'm interviewing them. So you're still getting my expertise with those women inserted in their interviews. It's a really powerful experience. I want you all to do this entrepreneurial thing, and I want you to do it well. I want you to claim your position as an entrepreneur and remain as an entrepreneur, because this world now, with what's happening with the economy and the value of the dollar, and we have to, if we don't create and we keep waiting on this country to do anything, we're going to find ourselves, living on hell on earth, because we can't wait for anybody to give us what we desire. We've got to get out there and we've got to create it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Go to augustcrenshaw.com/business mastery and get ready to join a tribe of women who are actually getting help even before the summit starts. Or just click the link that I'm going to put in on the platforms. I'm looking forward to actually getting a chance to see you guys. All right. So this is your girl. I'm outie. Bye.
Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomen.don't bitch.podcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you.